Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yes. Do let me know when to start.
We're ready when you are, Dinesh. Thank you very much.
Perfect. I
Thank
thought I
you.
was waiting for you. Okay. So let's start. I'll just come a little bit closer. So yeah, go ahead. So you know the topic. I think we end here with this topic. So ask your question. Let's invest first 7-8 minutes in. I'm sure a lot of ideas are there about this topic. A lot of questions are there. So anyone has any question? I'll just, yeah, go ahead. Then I start sharing my screen. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, very well.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Anyone has any question?
Not yet.
Where
No.
are you?
Eh,
Are you in
Yeah, I am.
London?
No. But I'm wearing the English color, that's for sure.
Just you've got a sweater on. It looks cold.
But no, it's because of the air condition.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, and so see, there is lot of ideas we have. All we belong to a different school, different understanding, but lot of thought about postology. So go ahead, anyone. Otherwise, of course, I'm prepared. I'll start sharing, but just to see what is that which is, comes up in your mind when you select postology, when you think about it. We don't hear you. You are on mute, Fiona. You are on mute. No, we don't hear you. So anyone else?
So Dinesh, yeah, I'll ask a question. Can you
Go
hear me?
ahead. Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So I'm working and living in central London, and I deal with a lot of patients with very stressful, hectic lives. And so I seem to have developed a posology whereby I'm giving them remedies on a daily basis to try and push through. But then sometimes I sit back and I think, you know, really, Hahnemann talked about the minimum dose. Am I over prescribing people?
Exactly. So the question here is, we all have heard about law of minimum dose. When it comes to repetition, especially in people who are stressful, there's a stress, and not the disease, but not the physical diagnosis, but the stress kind of mental sphere. You tend to repeat. Is that goes against the principle of homeopathy, especially law of minimum dose? Question mark. Let's see. Okay, that's a good question. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I was wondering about people that are on medications, say for seizures and things like that, and maybe they want to, or their parents or carers want them to slowly perhaps come out of the medications or reduce, and then with the daily dosing kind of going along with the same topic. Is that a good protocol?
Can you repeat your question? Sorry, my thought process went with the other questions and I missed your initial part.
It's a bit, it's following on from the question that was just asked. It's about people on medications. For example, people that experience seizures, and then maybe they're wanting, or their families are wanting to explore the possibility of reducing medication, but obviously you're not going to take the medication away. And with homeopathy, can that work alongside, and would that be a daily dose?
Perfect. So in condition where people are on medication, and especially for conditions which are like, let's say, convulsion or this kind of condition, can we come to some dosage, whether daily, weekly, monthly, or just few doses in homeopathy? What we will do in such condition where they are receiving allopathic medicine, let's say for blood pressure or for heart or for diabetes, condition like this where they're daily receiving the dose, should we also decide our protocol based on that? Okay, done. Some people asking here, I wish to know more about LM posology. Perfect. There's one question about that by Michael. How to determine best potency and frequency when starting medicine for the new consultation, when first time? What is that minimum dose? And who will decide that? Wow, there is someone who has read 4th, 5th, and 6th edition of Organon, and they are saying what to do about it. Should we follow the protocol of 4th, what has been told, 5th, what has been told, and in a 6th, which is way after Hahnemann? Naturally, if you have read those, then that question will come up, because in each there is some protocol has been changed. Perfect.
Dinesh,
Anybody?
Sorry, Dinesh, me again. I'd like to understand a bit more about autoimmune conditions and how your posology advice around that.
So, the cases like what we are seeing nowadays more and more, where autoimmune kind of disorder, yeah, like out of 10 now we are getting 3 to 4 like that. So in those conditions, should we give one dose? Should we give repetition? Should we give higher or lower? Or should we select lower posology or higher posology or even LM? Now the same, this is, now who will decide this? That's good. So let's see in condition like this. Anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to comment on the fact that it seems to me that the old homeopaths were using very low doses sometimes with really good success. Is this because they were treating acutes? When I read in my Materia Medica the comments, or is it that things have changed and that we're not able to use those very low potencies anymore?
Now look, if you see mostly the French homeopath, they use 1C to up to 2C, 3C, 4C, 5C, 6C. We have been told that in some acute we can use lower posology. In fact, if the whole posology debate has been divided into Hahnemannian era and Kantian era. The Hahnemannian era, they used, for them low was mother tincture to 3C and high was 6C, 9C, 12C, 18C, 24C and 30C. That was the highest. And later part in Hahnemann's life, LM. So, and the Kantian, they started with 1M, 10M, 50M. So again, the question comes up is this change? Or according to the principle of homeopathy, we can use all this posology depending upon what is in the center of the patient. Perfect. Let's see. Any other question?
Yes, Dinesh. I'm a doctor, so I'm used to adjust the doses of allopathic medication depending on the age. For example, half dose usually for women, in respect of men, or in elderlies, or in children. So I would like to know your opinion, your approach to adjusting eventually the doses in homeopathy to children, as regards children, old age, and women compared to men. Thank you.
Perfect. How do I adjust in a people where they're coming with a chronic disease, where the children, women, old age? Is there a protocol or a criteria we can base that, okay, it would be in old age, 1 dose every week, or in children, 30 or something like that? Let's check. Yeah. Perfect. So a lot of questions are coming up. Like the question range from, let me start my PowerPoint, because we have 1.5 hours and is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's visible. Okay. So naturally, we have a big debate that from a 1 dose and wait and watch for a long time, like Clark, Boric, and many others suggested. And modern masters also, 1 or 2, they are using this. Or Hahnemannian time, or people who follow Hahnemannian only. For them, it is low posology means mother tincture to 3C, high posology, as I told, 9C, 12C, 18C, 20C, 24C, and 30C. But in Kantian era, 1900, or since him, most of them, it is 30 low and then 200, 1M, 10M, 50M, MM, CM, and like that. If you see, Henneman restricted himself to only 12, 18, 24, 30 and LM later. Kant started his cases, 50% of them from 10M. Now, Boger, who was pathologist himself, based his book on pathological general and particular. He himself started cases with MM. Can you imagine? 80% of his cases. Boger restricted to mother tincture and 30. Clark again 3C to 30. So, and these are just whom we know. And if I go on, in each 10 to 15 years, each one suggested a different posology. Naturally, then not only the problem with the which potency, there is a problem with what is minimum dose, what is how to repeat, when to repeat. Some say if there is deep pathology, give lower posology or LM. Some say if there is acute, give higher because there is a high symptomatology. But if you see Stuart Cloth's book, Posology chapter, even in deep irreversible pathology, he has given 10M and 50M repeated. So naturally, there has to be some proper principle. Some says one dose, wait and what, and they have a criteria. This remedy, you can wait, you should wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And some give every 4 hours. Now, let's start with this small story. There's this witty man in Indian subcontinent that time, Telani Rama. He was a minister of one of the king. Yeah. So, and he was searching for the answer for the highest truth. And a nice conversation happens, so which I want to just share. He goes to his guru, his master. For a sacred, highest holistic truth. And the master says, you will get that highest knowledge. There is a temple of a Kali looking. Yeah. If you pray her, she will bless you with the highest truth. So he goes and does what has been told. And she appears with her 10 head. Looking at her, the Ramakrishna, the devotee, he starts laughing. And the goddess Kali says, why are you laughing at me? And she gets very angry. And he says that I was sorry, goddess, but I was wondering that when I get cold, I get so much disturbed with one nose. Now look at you, you have 10 head. And I was wondering that if you get influenza or COVID, Imagine what will happen to you. And with that imagination, I just got this laugh. So he, the Kali gets impressed with his wittiness and says, ask a boon. Yeah. And I'll give you this. She says that I have this 2 things in my hand, juices. The one, if you drink the first one, you will get unlimited intelligence. You will be able to focus on one thing, one method, one master, one book, one path. And if you drink the second one, you will be blessed with the knowledge of the whole, integrative, inclusive. She says, think carefully and choose wisely. So he, says, sorry, it's very difficult for me to, choose. Can you give me both to me? So she said, of course. And he takes the both and he drinks both together. And Kali gets furious that how dare you? I told you to drink one. How can you drink both? And his answer is very interesting, which he says, I beg your forgiveness, Mother Kali. But what is the use of one without the other? Part without whole, and the whole without part is useless. Hence, I took the both. This is very important, that in homeopathy or in our philosophy, that part as well as whole both speaks about the path. So before I go into posology, I give you few principles which I follow, whether it is in case taking, whether it's in understanding remedy or every part. So you will understand posology well. The first one, which you all have, when I teach you know that I speak about it a lot. First is holographic principle. What is true for one part of the system is true for other part of the same system. Yeah, you agree. This is holographic theory. So in homeopathy, what we believe is individualization, holism, yeah, and similimum. This individualization and holism come together, that you need individualistic expression at a whole level, along with part, general, and mind. We all agree that, right? Now that's where the true similimum, if you search based on that, true similimum will appear. Now, if this is the truth, then don't you think according to the what is true for one is true for all, it should be true for every aspect of homeopathy. We spoke a lot in many times about that case taking, how peculiar symptom should be searched at part, general, mind, as well as whole level. Same when you are searching the similimum. Same when you are reading your remedy, family, higher order, materia medica, repertory. This should be the aim. And same should be the aim in posology. That why should I look at posology just at the diagnostic level or a symptom at a disease level, and why should I not look at the whole level as well? So in postology also, I need the whole as well as the part. The whole as well as the part, general and mind. Are you there with me? So this principle was very clear in my mind, that when I'm looking at developing the concept of postology, I will look at the whole as well as the part and then decide. Clear? My next principle. Now, naturally, we believe in individualization, means peculiar symptom, that each human being has characteristics. We call peculiar, some call SRP, some call PQRS. But characteristic. Naturally, higher the level of characteristic, higher the match with the remedy. Yeah, the higher it's important in searching the remedy or homeopathy. So naturally, that this characteristic can be divided into different levels. Of course, in sensation school, they call it 7 levels of experience. But we all don't belong to that school. So what I'm trying to say here is, higher the level of characteristic in a person, higher should be the posology. Lower the level of characteristic, lower the posology. Naturally, yeah, the characteristic, first to start with, there is no characteristic, what we call common symptom. A disease, diagnostic or situational symptom. 2, you have characteristic symptom. Yeah. Then you have characteristic symptom at a mental level, at emotional level. Then have your perception level, what they call delusion. Then you can have characteristic symptom at a holistic level. Yeah. So if you look at this, the level of symptom or a characteristic of symptom from a classical school point of view and sensation school point of view, that the level of symptom can be, lower level can be diagnostic symptom, what the sensation school call name level. A diagnosis only, no characteristic. Then the next can be sign and symptom, but all related to disease. Then you have that's the fact level. The third is level of common emotions, situational symptom. You have a situation A in your personal and professional life, and that's what only related to that is coming. Nothing more. All can be explained through your human society. That's the third level of symptom. Okay. Yeah. Then the fourth level, what a sensation school they call delusion, but in a classical school, a level of peculiar, where you get characteristic symptom either at a part level or a general level or a mental level. Scattered characteristic symptom, but important. Okay, that's the third level, fourth level. Fifth level is the level of holistic. which in a sensation school, in a sensation. But for classical school, we call it holistic level. A level where symptoms, character symptoms are coming at body as well as mind. Part, general and mind. Or in every component of mind. That is the level of holistic, level 5. You understand? And then you have the level of 6, where holistic level is coming, but with energy pattern. The words are less, but the whole body language speaks about that substance. Yeah, so like this, you can have 6 level of characteristic of symptom, from common diagnostic to common sign and symptom to characteristic, yeah, peculiar to holistic to energy level. Now, this is why this is important. Soon you will understand. Now, once we understood that we can categorize symptom according to their importance of their characteristic, and we understood right now 6th level. But don't you think that this can come up, this characteristic can come up in one part as well as general and mind? So that's the third principle I'm going to, that this level of characteristic are coming only local in one part, or it is coming in every aspect of that human being. We call it holistic, general. Let's remove the word holistic because that will confuse us here. Are this level of characteristic are coming just local in one part, or it is in every part of this human being, in every area of this human being? What I mean by this, let me give you an example. 2 people coming. Both of them have tonsillar enlargement with a paratonsillar abscess. Yeah, the first one gives you characteristic symptom of aggravated by eating, by swallowing. In the tonsil, he feels bruised feeling, as if, let's say, beaten. He experienced in the tonsil as if a stone or a knife is cutting, or a stone is thrown on the tonsil, and he's being injured. Now, when you ask about the general, nothing. Mind, nothing. That's the first patient. Now I go to the second patient. The second patient gives you same at the local level, but he goes further. Since this started, my whole body feels as if bruised, as if being beaten by the stick. Since I got this, I got 2 dreams. One of them was running and falling and getting injured. And the same dream I used to get as a child of being injured. Now you see, if you look at the both cases, both have level of characteristic of symptom is, yeah, if you look at it, the first one, the tonsils around and they feel injured. The second case is also feeling injured. Let's say both of them have that level of holistic or sensation level. So should both of them receive same posology or different? First. And second, both of them having the same level of characteristic, but the first one is only local. The second one is general, all over. Am I clear with this? Keep this in mind. This is third, principle. Fourth principle. That I told you the second principle, that level of characteristic. And we discussed sixth level. Now, at a given moment of time, you, me, patient are in touch with one level of experience. We are living our life through that level. Let's say perception, delusion, let's say holistic, or maybe just a common situational emotion. Yeah. So important thing is, where is he right now when he comes to your clinic? Where is he when he's giving you case and you are still not directed the case anywhere, just in an open space? I call my passive case taking. Or in sensation school, they call it, where is he in his day-to-day level? Yeah, each one of us at particular day at different level. Now, why these four principles are important? Keep this in background. And now the problem comes up is, we have, if we see the basic posology, yeah, we have 30, 200, 1M, 10M, 50M, CM and MM. That's one group. Then we have second group, mother tincture, 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C to 12C. Then we have a group called LM, LM1 to LM12 and further. Now the first question is, which one to use when? Yeah, out of these three, based on homeopathic principle or what we are talking here, holistic principle. The second question is, even if I've decided, let's say 32 mm, which one? 30, 200, 1M, 10M, 50M, which one? Or like that, whether it is mother tincture, yeah, 1C or 12C or L. Yeah. So for this, I've made a three group I call corollaries. I don't know what to call it, but three principles. So we go to the now first principle, when to use 30 to mm. Yeah. We go there. Rest all I'll tell you later. So write down this, that when patient's level of characteristic or experience is general, I remove the word holistic, it will confuse you. General, not local, general. The case example 2. then the patient's level of characteristic is coming general. In day-to-day life, or in passive first part of case taking, where you are open and giving them open space, then very important, irrespective of any pathology, irrespective of any pathology, select 30 mm. Yeah. Let's go back to the example number 2. Here, where it is coming in local as well as other areas, mind, general. So it is not just the local, but general experience. Then I'm selecting 32 mm. Patient is talking to me. Yeah, I gave him an open space that tell me about you, all what speaks about you, your natural you. Go to different stages of your life, different situations of your life, and see what is that which is natural of you. And I'm not guiding patient that tell me your sensation, tell me your feelings, tell me your delusion, nothing. Just giving an open space. And he goes to the, let's say, part. He goes to the dream. He goes to the mind. He goes to the childhood. So you see general 4-5 areas, and you see then what is running. And yeah. So this group we are talking about now. So here, irrespective of whether it is tonsil or cancer, does not matter. And that's where we can explain that why some people like Stuart Boger give very, very high posology irrespective of any pathology. And some only restrict to the local. We'll come to that. The low posology or LM. Okay. So now, so when I will select 30, so here this is clear that the level of, so when I will select 30, that he goes, open space is given to him. We are creating that he restrict himself to diagnosis only, or diagnostic symptoms only, or gives you situation A, B, C, D, a fact of his personal, professional, sports life, a fact about his childhood, teenage, and now. Situational fact or disease. Am I there? That's the level of 30. Sorry. Yeah. 200. Here, whether patient talks about chief complaint, whether patient talks about general, whether patient talks about mind area, he gives you common human emotions. Common human, which any human being from east to west, north to south, belonging to any culture, any religion, will give you those emotions like sadness, fear, anxiety, weeping. Common situational emotions, or they go to a situation which was sad and they felt sad. Same intensity. Weepy, death happened and they were weepy. It was appropriate to that situation, but common human emotions. That is 200. So you see, when these people are talking, they go to many areas, of course, sorry. But they give you only situational emotions. If you remove that situation, nothing characteristic remains there. You can explain all their emotion through that disease, through that symptom, situation. Clear? 1M. Of course, sensation school, it is delusion level. But we try to understand through the holistic, classical aspect, that this is the level where the first time, whether he talks about illness, whether he talks about general, whether he talks about mind or different component of mind, fear, feeling, dreams, imagination, phobias, he gives you characteristic symptoms first time. Yeah. But what is the characteristic of 1M? They are scattered characteristic. Some in mind, some in part, some in general. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No connection between them. Dream of snake. Dream of being lost, being alone on an island. Dream or fear of green ghost, or disease better in a full moon. Very characteristic, what we call language of PQRS or SRP. But scattered SRP, there's no whole meaning in that. That's the level of 1M. Am I clear? Level 10M. Now here, right in the first part of case taking, where you have not even changed any flow, you have not picked up any symptoms still, that he goes to the part, chief complaint, general, mind, fear, dreams, imagination, and you start seeing various characteristics, but also a holistic characteristic running, a one theme running, a one peculiar characteristic running in through and through. For sensation school, sensation running through and through. A whole meaning gets clear before even you ask about it. Right in the open space, in a passive case taking, in a first part of case taking. That is 10M. I get like that example I gave you, case 2. That in my tonsil, I feel somebody is throwing a stone, injured. My body, general, feels as if being beaten by the stick. In the dream, I feel I'm running and falling and getting injured. I used to get childhood dreams of being injured. So you see, being injured, constantly running. Yeah, that is the level of 10M. Difference between 1M and 10M, 1M scattered characteristic. 10M, the characteristic, you see a common thread there, a master key. Different schools say a core or a center or a sensation or an essence in Vitolka's school. Yeah. 50M. Now imagine you've just given the open space. Patient goes to 3 different areas, means part, general, mind. He gives you a holistic theme. Yeah. But the whole meaning of that also gets clear to you. In 10M, it is just you know that this is the holistic characteristic, but the meaning you don't know still. But in 50M, it is very clear that this whole together speaks about this. Yeah. For example, a patient talking to you that in my throat, I feel as if it is getting constricted. My whole life, whether it's childhood or now my professional life, it's all about getting constricted. I get a dream as if a rope is coming and constricting me all over. Yeah, and it's going like this, like this. Here, what is happening? The constriction is coming, but the words and the body both going hand in hand with it. You cannot miss it. The whole language coming verbally as well as non-verbally in the body language. Yeah. That's why these cases are rare. But if you see, when the children, special children, autistic spectrum where you have or ADHD or Asperger, their compensation has still not taken place. But right in the beginning, you give them a space, you will see words as well as body language coming up right there. Yeah. CM. Yeah. CM is the level, that's why you see the 10M, 50M, CM are so rare, because at right in the beginning of the case taking, or where you altered the flow, the natural experience cannot be this. Now imagine CM patient coming to you, you tell him that tell me about you, whatever you think is, just take this space and see what comes up. It's almost as if, let's say, old person comes and you say, as if you are writing an autobiography of yourself, just free flow. And he goes from childhood, comes to his teenage, comes to his young age, comes to his old age, goes to his dreams now and earlier, goes to his chief complaint now. And gradually PQR is coming, a whole is coming, and this whole gradually verbally and non-verbally goes to the language of that remedy, a source of that remedy, whether it's mineral, plant, or animal. He exactly take you to that source. You didn't ask any other question, go on, more about you. So right in the first part itself, their natural experiences, they are living their life at a source level. So they are giving the symptoms whole at a source level. Very rarely, like till now, I've got only 1 or 2 cases, like this right in the passage. Clear? The MM will go later. Any question, anyone here? Any question till now? Question in terms of, first, is this clear when to give 32 mm group? Or any question here? My second question, is there any doubt in when to give 30, 200, 1M, 10M, 50M, CM?
Is this affected?
One
Dr.
minute, I'll just remove my pin. Yes, go ahead.
Dr. Dinesh, is this affected by somebody else reporting the case? For example, for a child or for somebody, an adult that can't speak for themselves? How do you determine then these different levels via somebody else? Sometimes it's necessary to receive the case via somebody else.
We come to that. We come to this special questions, that when you need to give more posology, when children cannot speak, when, we'll come to that soon. A coma patient, we'll see how much time we have. We'll take one by one each. First, we develop the chart and then the problem with it. I'll come to that, yes. Anyone else?
Could I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
The difference between 10M and 50M, are you saying that it's with 50M, it's more non-verbal communication that's included, that differentiates it?
Yeah. So you asked about 10M and 50M?
Yeah.
Yeah, simple. 10M means the holistic language is coming verbally only. The peculiar at a whole level coming verbally.
Okay.
50M is verbally as well as the body is involved in that language.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it. Very good. Thanks.
Perfect. Anybody else? So this first group, the 3 points you have to remember. First, that I just show you here so you understand. Okay, wait a minute. Here. The 3 point which is important here is when to select 32 mm. First, their level of characters should be general. What I mean by general is that it is coming in many areas, local, general, or mind, or situation, not in one area, but many areas. That first rule. Second rule is that that level of characteristics should be in day to day, today. Now that is in all, so you can cut that part also. The most important part is this one, that irrespective of any pathology, now you don't worry whether it is fever or cancer, whether it's autoimmune or whether it is a simple inflammatory reaction. Doesn't matter. If it is general, yeah, then irrespective of pathology. So we can use this for functional disease. We can use this for structural reversible disease. We can use this for irreversible last stage disease. Doesn't matter if their level characteristics are coming at a general level. That means they have vitality and you can give this posology.
Dinesh?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask, in these situations, do you therefore get aggravations at all?
We are coming there. We're coming to that aggravation, what is there in our mind, killer's aggravation. Definitely the killer, we'll understand that what is that and what fear was there at that time. Right? Here we are saying, see, look, Here we are saying the patient is at general level and his level of characteristics is 50. So don't you think if his level of characteristic is 50, I need to match exactly. That's the simillimum match. If he has the vitality of 50M, even in the chronic cancer, that means he has vitality inside. He should not develop it. But I am understanding if he doesn't have that vitality and a disease is at a local level, person is at a local level, then the problem. We are coming there soon. Yes.
Dinesh, can I ask a question?
Please
So,
go ahead.
does this make a difference of whether the issue is now or whether historical? So, for example, if somebody had a concussion 20 years ago, should you be increasing the potency because it was historical, or do you just go on what's going on today?
We are coming to that. Once I finish this 3 postology, ask me this question again.
Okay.
That when you will change the postology, or in the follow-up, will you change or you'll give the same? We come there. Yeah. And then third will be your part. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, Monik. You were speaking? No. Okay. So I take it this way that you understood at least some part and we go further. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Perfect. Sometime, in this online, you don't know, you keep speaking and the screen is something else. Okay. So we go to now the next group. So now what you do, this is the first group. Now we are talking about next both group, the mother tincture to 12C and the LM together. Write that principle. What I follow is this. When the patient has his level of experience, we understood what is that. Locally, local, full, capital, local. In day-to-day experience, that's the second part, which is here. In day-to-day experience, or in my passive case taking. Then, according to pathology, if it is reversible, then I will select mother tincture to 12C. Reversible, put it capital. If it is irreversible pathology, chronic structural changes, irreversible, I would select LM. So here, what are the 2 points which are very important? First, the characteristic or the experience has to be at a local level. What I mean by local level, it's experiencing only in one area. In Hahnemannian language, one-sided disease. One part only. One situation only, that they come to you with situation of death, disappointment, business failure, and every characteristic coming at that situation only. Person comes with a disease, let's say diagnosis, liver problem, and all the characteristic coming only in the liver area, locally, due to liver and nothing else. Am I clear? Let me repeat that when I say local means the one-sided disease, the person speaks about only part. What I mean by part, he only talks about the disease and characteristic related to that in that time zone. He talks about one situation only, situation, financial loss or business loss or disappointment or like that, death. Or he talks, it's situational, one-sided, or the one local disease only. That's what I mean by local. Then it matters to me, what is the pathology? If the pathology is reversible, fever, like acute diseases, common acute diseases, acute emotional disturbances, reversible, mental reversible diseases, situational impact, reversible, local. Then mother tincture to 12C. LM when I will select when the pathology is modern medicine criteria, irreversible, chronic, deep, kidney failure, heart failure, lung failure, brain disease, degenerative cancers, chronic. Clear? So what I was trying to say, I put it in a chart. Yeah, so here we are talking about the level of experience only local or one-sided. Then if the disease is functional or reversible, I will select. If disease is irreversible, deep and destructive, I'll select. Yeah. So this way, we can use them also, because naturally the disease has become one-sided, local. Yeah, so I can't use those high posology, I can use low. Low means those which are low diluted and low succussion, or the one which have been, highly diluted with a high succussion. That's LM. Yeah. So how do we use? Okay, let's go ahead. That mother tincture. So that first it has to be local. Imagine that case, the example 1. You remember tonsil? Now he said tonsil aggravated by eating, aggravated by swallowing, but only tonsil. Then injury only in the tonsil, nowhere else. Yeah, that group. So now, when to give mother tincture? So imagine a patient comes to you with a one-sided disease. Yeah. And you tell him, tell what's going on. He just tells you only disease. The more open space you give, only disease, and he doesn't go to even any other area, forget situation or anything. He's only at a disease level. He can talk to you for half an hour, like an expert. All what doctors has told and all what he has understood through Google. But totally, you are giving him an open space that you can talk everything which speaks about you. And he chooses to talk about illness, illness, and illness. Now that is mother tincture. So according to that diagnosis, I'm sure many of you give in tonsillitis, echinacea, gargling, right? But when you see that open the mouth, you see paratonsillar abscess. In India, at least, they'll give mother tincture, keep giving. But that's because they don't want to do case. Here, you being a classical homeopath with all the knowledge of case taking, still the patient is not going further. You can. He's stuck here. Yeah. 1 to 3 is fact level. Means common disease, sign and symptom. That's it. Full stop. 4 to 6, where he talks about local, but all emotion related to that situation only. Disappointment in love, he may give a language, but all around the disappointment in love, emotions. Appropriate to intensity of what he's gone through. Beyond that, he goes nowhere else. Yeah. Then 7 to 9 is he start giving characteristic symptom, but locally. Yeah. That first example, you see, tonsils, paratonsillar abscess, but characteristic symptom aggravated by swallowing, empty, eating, maybe moon, full moon, like that. Yeah. 10 to 12C. Sensation with energy pattern. I mean, this is the level where the holistic characteristics are coming even in the part. They're giving you location, that's diagnosis. Sensation, location, sensation, modalities, and also concomitant of that part. Since this happened, this is also happening. But all related to that part, that area, that situation, that thing, nothing beyond. And in most important, one time zone. When that happened, that's it. Around that, nothing else. Now look back. Don't you think in your acute cases, which next to this we will go acute, that in acute cases, when you do case taking, and that's why the French homeopaths are successful in those, is that they are exploring only acute, local, yeah, local, one-sided, and they also give this posology. Where they get result, if you check better, the patient is also stuck at a local level. I give you an example of a case and you tell me what you will give this patient. A patient came to me with a whooping cough few years back, a lady around 35. I said, tell me what. She says for 3-4, continuous or 2 or 3 months, he's going through this. And I gave her a space to tell me about what is happening to you and I want to know you. She started that in my throat, I feel, as if dryness. I get dry barking cough. In my throat, I feel as if it is hollow. I am harassed by this throat, this part. As if this part has become narrow. As if this part becoming narrow and dry, but there's a sticky mucus is going in. And instead of it is going up, it goes in and it gets swallowed inside. So tell me more. You see, I visualize this as if there's a kind of a conical hole on the earth, and it is, something fallen down and the sticky material goes inside and crushed it completely. It's almost like how here, like carnivorous plant eat the insect. Exactly, this is what I feel. Yeah. Now, definitely, these are the symptoms: dry, barking cough, harassing cough, yeah, hollow cough, all with this language. It's a language of Drosera. Tell me which posology you will give this patient. Anyone?
Ten to 12.
10 to 12, perfect. Or 10 to 12. Yes, Sally, you are right. Sarah, you are right. Yeah. Sadia, you are right. Exactly. This is what, now earlier, if this concept is not there, I will think 10M. She's talking the language of carnivorous plant. But see if you hear it well, locally, in today's time zone, when she's having whooping cough only, it doesn't go beyond this. It doesn't go in an area where I don't expect, there's no whooping cough, but still symptoms are there. Am I clear? This is what need. And that's why, since I understood this 3-4 years back, and earlier in my all acute, I used to give 30, 200, 1M, sometime 10M. I realized, but people are giving me symptom only locally in one area, one time zone. Since this started, how can I give them 1M, 10M? And I started using this posologies very well. Otherwise, they'll see, oh, delusion level means 1M. No, it can be 7 to 9, depending if it is local. And pathology is reversible. That is acute condition. That was a good learning for me that, yes, yeah, let's go further. Now I'm going to local, one-sided, but the disease is deep, reversible, and destructive. I told you example of those. So now the problem here is disease is localized, become one-sided, and also destructive. Now here, if he has a level of experience, let's say characteristic symptom, delusion, or holistic, yeah, can I give him 1M, 10M? There I may expect aggravation. The match is not there. Yes, he needs, according to the characteristic, but because the disease is localized and deep irreversible, I can use those postology which are well diluted and well suckered. That means more succussion means more characteristic, and more diluted means lesser chances of aggravation. Am I clear here? 100 succussion and 1 by 50,000 dilution. That is LM. Perfect. So when such cases come to me, if they are at the level of name fact, I use 1, 2, 3. Emotion, situational, the language, emotional situation 4 to 6. The level of characteristic, but scattered characteristic, 7 to 9. And then when it comes to holistic or source level or energy level, that is 10 to 12. Am I clear? Any question, anyone here? With this differentiation, any question now coming up in your mind? Any permutation, combination, or anything coming.
I've got
I
a
remove
question.
my pin. Yes. Yes, Shimon.
If you've got someone with, say, rheumatoid arthritis, and the symptoms are all over their body, is that still considered local? A local irreversible?
Yes, because this is disease related, diagnostic related, so it's local.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's being localized, disease related. You understanding it? That's local. Yes. Otherwise, psoriasis is multi-system, multi-organic, multi-organs disease. It is, but if the symptom, it's only disease related, then it's local.
Hi,
Hi, Nada.
I have
Nada
question.
Shahra.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Yes, Nada.
The frequency of repeating the remedy, depending on the case, if it's local, reversible, or irreversible. If we give the 12C, for example, then the frequency of repeating it, when we do need to repeat it, and
Now we are
daily
coming to those
basis?
questions, and I'm coming to those questions. And since I just saw that I have official 10 minutes, maybe unofficial Indian time 20 minutes. So I have to go a little faster here. Yeah. So I come here. Yes. Should I go English time? Your English time is perfect, or or my Indian time? We don't have watch.
I like Indian time.
There's no chronology time here. Let's go. The organizer will kill us. Okay. See, now we come to that earlier example again. The throat one. Yeah. Now I'm changing that example to like this. That the level of experience in this is local. Yeah. You remember the first one? So mother tincture to 12C. Here the pathology is reversible in a second one. Yeah, just the first with, yeah. But experience is general. Then 32 mm. We go to with exact pathology. Yeah. In first one, and both of them, it is holistic experience or sensation. But the one is receiving 9C and one is receiving 10M. With same pathology, same experience. That's what we were trying to talk. Now we take like this, that pathology we change. Tonsillar cancer. Characteristic the same, we change the tonsillar cancer. Then if you will see that the local will receive LM because pathology is irreversible. And the general one will receive, even if pathology is irreversible, 32 mm. And that's where we can explain Boger giving every case 50 m. Why some must be working? Why Stuart Clausen, most of the deep irreversible pathology, he is giving higher. Why it must be working? And Clark and Borick giving lower, and Hahnemann still lower, must be working. Those where the match is there, it is working. Yeah. Okay. So we understood that LM9 in first one. When if tonsillar cancer, one will receive LM9 and one will receive the 10M. Even though the pathology is cancer. Yeah. Now acute, I'll just let it go time being, because there are some pathologies, things. Now repetition. I know I have a little time, so acute, maybe some other time we talk about it. Means all these three posology, how to use in acute. That was the whole thing. Now repetition. Some people vouch for one dose and wait for till it get exhausted. And many of them have talked about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 4 months. Don't repeat. CPR, don't repeat for 37 weeks. And we read it in Clark, Boric, it is mentioned there. Who decide repetition? Yeah. Like I give you an example of two patients. Two patients come to me. Both of them are of cancer. Yeah. Both of them, let's say, level of experience is sensation. Cancer, sensation. And both of them, let's say, 10M. General experience. So we put it there. 10M. The first one comes after, I call him after a 1 month, and he is better locally, generally, mentally, whole state wise. The holistic as well as general as well as part is better. Of course, I give him placebo. Pathology wise also is better. You see, he's keep improving. Next 2 months he comes again, report wise, diagnosis wise, symptom wise better, mind better, general better, dreams better. Again, placebo or no medicine in your country, we give placebo. Placebo. And he goes on. But the second patient, after a month, he comes to me and says, I was better for 15 days. My symptoms were better. My swelling were better. My mind was better. My dreams were better. But last 10, 15 days, everything has come back. Of course, I'll repeat. Again, he says, after a month that I was better for 15, 16, 17 days. Again, I repeat and call him after a month. And third time, if a similar thing happened, I know that this patient will need once in 15 days a dose for some time till the push is 70, 80% better in all areas. Are you there with me? So who will decide repetition? My patients, first that I should be sure that it is Similimab. Second, then check what's happening. That if the symptom repeats every 7 days, 15 days, once a month, that's the dose he needs. Till what time? Till you know that overall, in all areas, is at least more than 60% better. Then give placebo and check. So the repetition is not depend upon the level of characteristic. Repetition is depend upon how much this being, how fast the dose is getting exhausted in this person in spite of it being a Similimab. Am I clear? Okay. Now, next time when he comes, which posology to give? Of course, the classical homeopaths will tell us that if he is come to 30, then give 200, then give 1M, then give 10M, then give, higher. And once you exhaust all, come back to 30, right? You have heard this in classical. In the Kantian approach, it has been told, in India at least they teach, that you keep going higher, 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 and once you exhaust higher, come back to 30. There is no logic here. So the golden rule is, when a patient is coming to me, let's say you call your patient after 2 months or 3 months, where is he at a given moment of time in the level of characteristic? If you are given last postology 30, but after 2 months, if he's at a 10M, give 10M. After 3 months, he comes to you and he's at a 200, give 200. Because you are matching where he is exactly at this given moment of time. How will you know when you're talking to him? Local symptom he's giving, his level is this. General, he's giving symptom like this. In 10-15 minutes, you will understand it. Why to go with some fixed principle which has no logic there? Best logic is, where is my patient at given moment of time? That is the level of posology. If he's at 200, give 200. Am I clear here? Like earlier, people used to say that, look, this is Dinesh. Yeah. And Dinesh has a remedy, let's say sepia. Okay. Okay. So this is sepia. Now, who is receiving medicine, Dinesh or sepia? On which basis I'm receiving medicine? Dinesh base or sepia base? Definitely sepia. More the sepia, more the posology, lesser the sepia, lesser the posology, right? So let's say Dinesh received sepia 200 and it's right. What will happen to sepia energy? Will go down. What will happen to Dinesh energy? Will come up, right? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be converted from one form to another. So that you understanding it? It's the Dinesh healthy energy is improving. That doesn't mean that Dinesh is at 1M or 10M now. Dinesh is not receiving. Where is my sepia at given moment of time? If sepia is 10M, give 10M. Am I clear? People used to give this logic because you give homeopathy remedy, so your vitality is improving, so you need higher posology. But my vitality is not receiving the medicine, my disease is receiving the medicine. So the better to judge where it is. Am I clear here? So these are basic three. Now ask if we have time. I don't know whether we have time. If you have now any question you want to ask, and I'll answer. Go ahead.
Can I just ask something? If somebody has, for example, psoriasis, they come with psoriasis on their face and they've had it for a few years and they have no other problems. They're happy, they don't really think about it, but it's an unpleasant thing that they have on their face and they want to get rid of it. Sometimes it goes a little bit better, not psoriasis, any kind of eczema or some kind of rash on their face. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it doesn't get better. What would you suggest to start with something like that? If it's something that somebody comes along with like that, I mean, I would immediately thought maybe 30C. Is that a wrong way of thinking?
Yes, with the principle what we have understood right now, that it is not the disease, but it's the characteristic of the person with disease. Where is those characteristic? One, are those characteristic experiencing in just local part or local one area or this? Then irrespective of pathology, I will select that. So yes, any pathology depends upon where the characteristic is and how much the characteristic is. Simple. in many psoriasis cases, I will give 10M, 50M because their characteristics are high. The level of, sensation or energy. And also they are at general level. They give me every area the remedy.
So you wouldn't
Am I
start
clear?
low. You would start straight away with a high one.
If they are at a higher level, yes. But if the psoriasis patient only talk about language of psoriasis, and I don't get, locally he's stuck in situation in one area only, then yes.
Thank you.
Not in all psoriasis. Same way rule goes for all cancer, all autoimmune. It's the same rule. Depend where he's he. Go ahead. Next one, please. Anyone?
Yeah, could I ask a question about the repetition, please?
Please go ahead. Yes.
So are you saying that you're generally prescribing one dose and then waiting a month, and then you're adjusting the repetition, the frequency, depending on what's happened in that month, but you're always waiting a month? You're not prescribing, say you decide a 200C, you're not going to say, okay, take that once a week and then come back in a month. Are you always just giving one single dose and waiting a month?
I'm coming to it. Initially, in all the cases, I start with minimum dose. You never know. I have cases of epileptic to brain stroke to, chronic, I'm talking about, to cancer, to these arthritis, to autoimmune disorder, where one dose to tuberculosis, one dose and improving, stop treatment, gone. But limited number. But there are people where I start with one dose, but in the journey, I see that every 15 days, their state is coming back. Every 7 days, it is coming back. In those cases, yes, every 7 days, one dose. Till what time? Till they are surely 60% better in all the aspect, not disease, but mind, general, holistic symptom, everywhere, dream, then I will come back to placebo again. Like that.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes, I hear you. Yes.
I have actually two questions. So I will ask them both, but regarding how much time you have, just feel free to interrupt me. First, you mentioned
I'll
that
ask the organizer school how much time I can stretch.
Indian time. Indian time.
Then I have many things I can talk to you.
The whole day. We can discuss over tea. So you mentioned that rheumatoid arthritis, you would consider this as local. From my knowledge and unfortunate personal experience, it's a multiple organ disease that can obviously affect rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah. Any disease can be. No, I'm saying local.
Because you mentioned when the other woman. Okay. Yeah.
No. When I say local means not the diagnosis wise. When I say local means the person is stuck in one area, either disease or situation like that. So none of the disease I would call local. All disease, it depends where is he.
Okay, this is what I wanted to clarify. Another thing, I know you didn't have time to mention the acutes, but how would you consider fever? Local, general, especially with children who are not able to express any of the symptoms?
Yes.
I usually get stuck with this. My daughter usually jumps with 40 plus fever. That would be 104, 105, depends which scale, without any other symptoms. So would I still, where am I looking at? Local, general?
I'm coming to this because we all have gone through this fever thing a lot in last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's naturally the fever cases can be local as well as general. Local, when I say fever, means they are, since the fever started, they give you symptom related to fever. What I mean, that the fever, with fever, characteristic, what is happening in the body, yeah?
Yeah.
With the disease, all what is location, sensation, what is going on, they give you characteristic. But general means what? They also give you, since fever started, I got this dream. Since fever started, I got this imagination. Since fever started, I got this anxiety. Since fever started, I got this unnatural, thought process.
And what if
This
what if
craving
it's a
aversion.
child?
Yeah,
What if
the
it's a child
will-
that cannot tell you anything? They usually don't.
you mean the children who are non-verbal, let's say 2 and
Non-verbal,
below
yes,
2.
yes. Yeah, exactly.
Then definitely your observation, right? Where you are observing symptom. If you are observing symptom and you see characteristic, which is at part where the symptoms are going on, general as well as, other observation, which are very unique. You can go to the 30 to 200 group. But if you see characteristic, just one area only, then stick to your very local, means your mother tincture to 12C.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have one more question. Have you ever approached with 1M immediately for fever cases or a non-verbal children?
Earlier, yes, you see many masters talks about it, no? That when you have nothing, give 1M. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, since the concept is there, if I have no choice, I will do it. I'll stick to what has been taught to me. But since I have a choice now, at least I'll observe that when I'm looking at him, the with fever, I see restless at the one leg only. I see, one ear is red only. I see, perspiration in the only the tip of the nose. So I see characteristic are coming. One perspiration of this, one ear is red, and the one leg moving. Means I getting characteristic at 3 different areas. Now I will not call this as local. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And if he gives me characteristic only at the heat level or a chill level, I know that is at a fever level only. That becomes local, like that.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Anyone else? So
Yes.
there are some.
Can I
go ahead.
May I just quickly ask? This is a very This is a very interesting method. Thank you. Can you explain how you arrived at these concepts?
How I arrived at this concept?
Yes.
That's what right from the beginning I said. That first, for me important is what is true for one part is true for whole. What is true for homeopathy is individualization at a whole level. Then I need to select a remedy also at an individual as well as the whole level. Yeah, individual means the part as well as whole level. Then, so how will I select? I have 3 group of remedies. I have different pathologies, or 3 group of pathology. I have different pathologies. So how will I use it? Then I said, okay, then the patient gives characteristic to me. Yes, higher the characteristic, higher the pathology. I agree. That is what we do in potentization. Higher the potentization, higher the importance. So I said, I agree this. Then what? Then where this higher, at local or general? Then I divided that if it is general, then a good high pathology. Local, then what at local? Local reversible, then it is like acute. Then it is mother tincture to 12C. Local irreversible, then it is here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's something
There are
like
some
headaches, which are very common. Would they be considered local if they've just got?
Depends. If he is giving you headache and he gives you headache exact location in the forehead, experience sensation as if this happening here, yeah, this aggravated by modality, by jarring, by eating, by sun, let's say, yeah? Yeah, and concomitant with this, yeah? I want to hold my head like this. He gave you characteristic, but all are local. I will go with the local posology.
If there's none of that, if it's just a pain in the head generally, is that
Then then you can go to mother tincture to that area, you know, which you think is for headache. Like say glonoin, you know, if you see sun headache, no character like that. But if he gives you local, but characteristic all over, then you make note of that. Okay. I 2-3 things before. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Yes.
was just wondering, sometimes we have those very sensitive clients who start proving the remedies. So
Yes.
with this process, is there any possibility of aggravation like that?
No, when you match it, less chances compared to others, yes, but there are chances, like idiosyncratic children, what you're talking about, you know, like people who react to that. Then either I start with a safe posology of that group. In 30 to cm, 200 is considered safe posology. Right? In LM, between 4 to 6, safe posology. Like that. You understanding it? Like that 4 to 6 in C, safe. So safe posology, you start and check.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Now 2-3 questions which are remain, I will send it to you. I will send it to you. Can you stop your mic? Someone's mic is on. Can you stop? Yeah. So now just 5 minutes I talk and then we stop. Yeah. So 2-3 things which is important I wanted to talk. I don't know what happened here. Why mine is not coming, maybe. Yeah. So certain thing, you know, sometime you can give 2 posology together. When you're indicated, this I will send it to you right now, because if I start this, I'll need 10 minutes. And I know we are already 20 minutes above. I'll send it to you. And there are some specific questions related to posology. Yeah, and I see if those questions, if I can put an answer for you, this will help you. Some specific conditions, some specific, you know, how to join posology and all. Yeah. Yeah. Second, this charts, you know, I have put it in my website. You can copy this one, or Dr. Riddhi has sent it to you. There are 2 charts properly with this philosophy and when to use which one in acute as well as general. Yeah. And there I've kept just minimum $5. You download it and this $5 will go to my charity. And it will be like, you know, this, which is a proper chart with everything, like how you have schematic chart with a proper, you know, it will help you. So if you need, you can download this. Yeah. Like that. And as I said, this money will go to the charity, you know, what we teach in free of cost in India. That way it will help you. Yeah. 2-3 things. So I'll send you all this remaining questions of related to posology and what I do. It will help you. I'm sure those, you know, acute one also the concept I will send it to you and you can download the chart. If you have any question, please write to me. Your questions also here on this one. Yeah. Or you just visit this too. And it'll help you there. Okay. Rest all you know. So go ahead. Anything else? Any burning question which you think we should answer? I have 5 more minutes. Can I take 7 more minutes, organizer? She will
Yes,
kill
of
me.
course.
Okay. Go ahead. If you have 1 or 2 more burning question which you cannot wait, but you want to ask now.
Hi, Dinesh.
Hi.
I wanted to ask about suppression, Dinesh. What's your, my understanding of suppression is to use LMs if there is suppression from medical drugging or some heavy mental emotional suppression happening.
Simon, can you go ahead, go again, tell again your question? I missed something in between, Simon.
It's about suppression. What my understanding is that to use LMs in cases where there is a medical drugging suppression or suppression from mental emotional suppression, basically.
So I will put it this way: whether it is drug induced suppression or medical suppression, a lot of drugging has been done, which is like, but if the state is general, in spite of so much of, let's say, steroid given or radiotherapy or chemotherapy or so much of continuous drug given, any anti-inflammatory drugs continuously, if his state is general, don't worry about LM. You give indicated posology, which is coming up. But if he's become one-sided because of that, then yes, LM. One-sided, I mean, he's, symptomatology now also coming locally. Then yes, you give LM and it will work very well.
Great, thank you. One last quick question. With the case of Drosera with the dry throat, the lady with the dry throat, how often did you repeat that?
We started with, I don't remember, but for 4 or 5 doses had gone and she was okay after that. It's long back. Yeah. If we would do whole day, I would give for each posology one short case, but I knew I had to concentrate on like when I teach, what I do is 3 days when I'm teaching all 7-8 cases, I don't tell them the posology. And the last day, I said, now this is the concept of posology. And now you tell me case 1, what posology, what repetition, case 2, what posology. So then they understand it better.
Sure, okay. But generally speaking, how often would you repeat, say, a 12C?
Depends. Again, I say when he's coming to me, initially it would start with the minimal doses.
Yeah.
But I see that those get exhausted, whether locally or generally or his whole symptomatology. Depending on that, I'll keep, in 2-3 follow-ups, you become smart. At least 3 follow-up, he will need every 15 days, every 7 days, every month, or just placebo. So my repetition, exact science comes up after 2 to 3 follow-up.
Got you. Thanks for clarifying, Dinesh.
Perfect, Simon. So all of you have a lovely, lovely holiday time. Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely, lovely time. And any question, please feel free. And I'll maybe next time wherever we meet, or I'll tell school to arrange one more where any question related to posology. See, there are some more questions can come up, So maybe half an hour we'll keep and we put those all together. Okay. Till that time, have a lovely time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll send you PowerPoint of all these notes.
Thank you.
So that
Thank you very much.
it's easy for you to understand. Take care, all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.